Have you ever noticed how one negative person can spoil an entire day, but one peaceful person can heal an entire room? We often say, "Log bjør," Hein, people are toxic. But the real question is not who they are, the real question is, who do we become around them? Life is not about removing every toxic person, because honestly, that is impossible. Life is about learning how to deal with them without losing yourself. So today, let us talk about 7 clever ways to deal with toxic people, not with anger, but with awareness, wisdom, and inner strength. Have you ever wondered why some people leave you feeling peaceful, while others leave you feeling drained, confused, or disturbed, even after a short conversation? It is not because you are weak. It is because energy is real, emotions are contagious, and not everyone you meet is aware of what they are spreading. In life, we often prepare ourselves for success, relationships, and happiness, but very rarely do we prepare ourselves for dealing with toxic people, and yet they appear everywhere, at work, in families, among friends, and sometimes even within ourselves. The first thing to understand is this: not every harsh word is about you. Many people speak from their wounds, not from wisdom. When someone constantly criticizes, complains, or hurts others, it often reflects an inner battle they are fighting silently. If you take every comment personally, you will exhaust yourself emotionally. Instead of reacting immediately, pause and remind yourself that their behavior says more about their inner state than your worth. At the same time, kindness does not mean allowing disrespect. There is a beautiful difference between being compassionate and being available for negativity. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it is self-respect. You can be polite, calm, and firm at the same time. When you define what behavior you will accept, you teach others how to treat you. And if someone becomes upset because you set boundaries, it usually means those boundaries were necessary. Another important realization is that not every argument deserves your energy. Some people do not want understanding, they want attention. Engaging with them only fuels the chaos. Silence in such moments is not surrender. It is clarity. When you stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you, you reclaim your peace. Learn to observe without absorbing. Just because someone is angry does not mean you need to become angry. Just because someone is negative does not mean you must carry that negativity forward. Like dust on the road, you can notice it without letting it settle on you. Your inner peace is your responsibility, and protecting it is an act of maturity. It is also okay to reduce emotional access without reducing respect. You do not need dramatic confrontations to create distance. Sometimes fewer conversations, shorter responses, and less emotional involvement are enough. Distance can be healing, not hateful. You are not required to stay close to people who repeatedly disturb your mental well-being. The strongest defense against toxic behavior is a strong inner life. When your days are filled with purpose, gratitude, and self-awareness, negativity loses its grip on you. A fulfilled mind does not easily get shaken by unnecessary noise. And finally, remember this: growth is always a better response than revenge. When you choose calm over conflict, understanding over anger, and self-improvement over bitterness, you rise above the situation. The goal is not to defeat toxic people, but to not become one because of them. Protect your peace, choose wisdom over reaction, and never allow someone else's darkness to dim the light you are responsible for keeping alive. Life is full of people. Some bring warmth, some bring inspiration, and some bring challenges that test our patience, resilience, and emotional strength. Among these, toxic individuals are perhaps the most subtle yet powerful forces we encounter. They do not always shout or act openly. Often, their negativity seeps quietly, affecting moods, decisions, and even relationships. The truth is, no one can completely avoid toxic people, but what we can control is how we respond to them. It begins with awareness, The first step is to recognize the difference between criticism that helps you grow and words that aim to pull you down. Many toxic people carry pain and frustration that has nothing to do with you, yet they attempt to make it your burden. When you understand that their behavior reflects their inner struggle, it becomes easier to maintain calm and composure. You realize that reacting impulsively only adds fuel to their fire and drains your own energy unnecessarily. Equally important is the art of setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls built to isolate you from the world. They are doors that protect your peace while allowing respect to flow freely. By gently but firmly defining what is acceptable, you signal to others that while you are kind and approachable, you will not compromise your well-being. Many people resist boundaries because they confuse kindness with unlimited availability. But the truth is, true kindness is rooted in wisdom and discernment, not blind tolerance. Silence, too, is a powerful tool. There are moments when words cannot resolve the negativity around you. Arguments with those who thrive on chaos rarely produce understanding. Responding in anger only deepens conflict. Instead, choosing silence and observing without absorption is often the most courageous and effective response. By not reacting, you preserve your emotional energy and refuse to be drawn into cycles of unnecessary negativity. Observation without absorption is another essential practice. You can notice someone's hurtful words or behavior without letting it penetrate your inner calm. Think of it like watching storm clouds pass by, acknowledging their presence without letting them flood your mind. Your emotional and mental space is precious, and protecting it is a mark of maturity. Limiting exposure to toxic influences is not disrespect. It is self-preservation. Life does not demand that we tolerate repeated harm. Sometimes the wisest choice is to reduce contact, shorten conversations, or step back emotionally while still maintaining dignity. Distance often brings clarity and allows both parties to reflect. Finally, the greatest response to toxicity is growth. Instead of harboring resentment or seeking revenge, focus on self-improvement, mindfulness, and inner peace. When you cultivate gratitude, purpose, and emotional stability, the negativity of others loses its power over you. The ultimate victory is not in changing them, but in evolving yourself so that no external force can disturb your calm or dim your light. Every challenge, every difficult person, and every tense encounter can become an opportunity to practice patience, wisdom, and compassion. By choosing to rise above bitterness, you not only protect your peace, but also create a life filled with clarity, joy, and strength that no toxicity can penetrate. We live in a world filled with energy, some of it uplifting and some of it draining. Every interaction we have leaves an imprint on our mind and heart. Some people inspire us to be better versions of ourselves, while others seem to pull us down, intentionally or unintentionally. Toxic individuals are part of life, and learning how to deal with them is not just a skill. It is an essential life lesson. The question is not whether they exist, but how we allow them to affect our inner world. It starts with awareness. When someone behaves negatively, lashes out, or constantly criticizes, it is easy to feel attacked. But often, their behavior is a reflection of their own struggles, insecurities, or disappointments. By seeing their actions through this lens, we gain a perspective that allows us to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Understanding that their toxicity is about them and not about us is liberating. It frees us from the emotional trap of taking things personally and getting pulled into unnecessary conflict. Setting boundaries is a crucial practice. Being kind and being available for everything are not the same. Boundaries are not barriers to love or respect. They are necessary structures that protect your peace. When you clearly define what behavior you will accept, you are not rejecting the person, you are valuing yourself. Toxic people often resist boundaries because it challenges the control they try to exert. Standing firm, calmly, and respectfully is a form of inner strength. Silence is another powerful tool. Some people thrive on arguments and reactions. Engaging them often escalates conflict rather than resolving it. Choosing silence in such situations is not weakness, it is wisdom. Silence allows space for reflection, preserves your energy, and demonstrates that your peace is more important than proving a point. By refusing to be drawn into every battle, you conserve your strength for what truly matters. Observing without absorbing is an art. Just because someone is angry, jealous, or critical, it doesn't mean their emotions should enter your inner world. You can acknowledge what is happening without letting it disturb your calm. Think of it as standing in the rain without getting wet. Watch, learn, and let it pass. Protecting your emotional environment is essential to maintaining clarity and mental well-being. Limiting exposure is not a sign of weakness, it is self-respect. Life is too short to let repeated negativity occupy your space. You can distance yourself emotionally or physically without creating resentment. Less engagement often leads to more peace. Respect can coexist with space, and sometimes that distance is the most loving decision for both yourself and the other person. Finally, growth is the ultimate response. Revenge or retaliation may give temporary satisfaction, but personal growth, mindfulness, and calm offer lasting strength. By focusing on your own development, cultivating gratitude, and nurturing emotional resilience, you rise above the turbulence created by others. The best victory over toxicity is not in changing them. It is in refusing to let their actions diminish your light or disturb your heart. Every difficult interaction is an opportunity to practice patience, awareness, and compassion. By approaching toxic people with wisdom and self-respect, you do not just survive, you thrive, creating a life of peace, balance, and unshakable inner strength that no external negativity can touch. Life has a way of teaching us lessons in unexpected ways. Sometimes the people we meet bring light and inspiration into our journey, while others, with their negativity and constant criticism, test our patience and our ability to stay centered. Toxic people are not rare, they are part of life's landscape. The key is not to try to change them, but to learn how to navigate their presence without losing yourself. The greatest strength is to remain calm, kind, and clear-headed even when someone else's behavior seems designed to disturb your peace. It begins with understanding that their negativity is a reflection, not a judgment. Many people who act in hurtful or toxic ways carry burdens that we cannot see. Their words, their tone, and their reactions often stem from inner insecurities, frustrations, or unresolved pain. When we recognize this, we stop taking their behavior personally. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, we respond with awareness. Observing a person without absorbing their negativity is one of the most important skills we can develop. You can witness their behavior, learn from it, and yet keep your mind and heart untouched. Boundaries are essential. It is a common misconception that being compassionate means tolerating everything. True compassion does not require us to sacrifice our emotional health. When we set boundaries, we are not building walls out of fear. We are creating a space where respect and dignity can exist, saying no when necessary, stepping back when required, and maintaining emotional distance is not rejection. It is self-respect. Toxic individuals may resist these boundaries, but it is the boundaries themselves that often teach the most valuable lesson, that your peace is not negotiable. Another principle is learning when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every argument leads to understanding. Sometimes engagement only fuels further negativity. Choosing silence is not avoidance, it is wisdom. By stepping back and refusing to react impulsively, you conserve your energy and maintain clarity. Your calm presence can be more powerful than any argument or explanation. Reducing exposure to toxicity is also important. Life is too short to be constantly weighed down by people who drain your energy. Emotional distance, shorter interactions, and selective engagement can protect your mental space. Respecting someone does not mean remaining endlessly available to their negativity. At times, creating distance is the kindest decision you can make for both yourself and the other person. Ultimately, the greatest response to toxicity is personal growth. Choosing maturity over revenge, compassion over anger, and inner peace over resentment is the highest form of victory. By focusing on developing your own emotional resilience, mindfulness, and self-awareness, you rise above the chaos and refuse to let external negativity dictate your mood or your path. Every difficult person we encounter is an opportunity to practice patience, emotional intelligence, and self-mastery. By approaching life with awareness, setting clear boundaries, and nurturing inner strength, we do not just survive toxicity, we thrive, cultivating a life of calm, clarity, and unshakable peace that no external circumstance can disturb. Every one of us, at some point in life, encounters people who seem to drain our energy, cloud our thoughts, and disturb our peace. These are the toxic individuals, not necessarily bad people, but people whose presence challenges our patience, tests our resilience, and teaches us the value of emotional awareness. The question is not how to eliminate them from our lives completely, because that is rarely possible, but how to navigate their presence without losing ourselves. Learning this is a subtle art, one that requires awareness, patience, and a deep understanding of human nature. The first step is awareness. Toxic behavior often stems from pain, insecurity, or unresolved personal struggles. When someone criticizes harshly, manipulates situations, or spreads negativity, it is rarely about you. Their actions are a reflection of their own internal battles. Understanding this does not justify the behavior, but it helps you respond with composure rather than anger. When you stop taking their words personally, you reclaim control over your emotions and refuse to become a participant in their negativity. Boundaries are essential in this process. It is a common misconception that kindness means unlimited tolerance. True kindness is rooted in wisdom, not in blind submission. Setting boundaries is a way to protect your peace while still maintaining dignity and respect. When you calmly communicate what behavior is acceptable and what is not, you teach others how to treat you. Toxic people may resist these boundaries initially, but boundaries are like gentle mirrors. They reflect your self-respect and your refusal to be dragged into chaos. Silence is another powerful tool. Not every confrontation deserves a response. Some people thrive on conflict, and engaging them only fuels further negativity. Choosing silence is not avoidance. It is an act of strength and clarity. By not reacting impulsively, you preserve your energy for what truly matters, and you demonstrate that your peace is non-negotiable. Often, silence communicates more than words ever could, and it allows space for both reflection and emotional distance. Observing without absorbing is an art of emotional intelligence. Just because someone is angry, critical, or negative does not mean you need to internalize it. You can acknowledge their behavior without letting it invade your inner world. Think of it like standing under a storm while remaining dry. You see the rain, feel the wind, but it does not dampen your spirit. Protecting your emotional space is an act of maturity, and it ensures that negativity does not contaminate your thoughts, decisions, or happiness. Reducing exposure to toxic people is not disrespect. It is self-preservation. Life is too short to invest unnecessary energy in relationships that drain you. Shorter interactions, selective engagement, and emotional distance can create a healthier environment. Respect does not require constant proximity. And sometimes stepping back is the most loving decision you can make, for yourself and for others. Finally, growth is the ultimate response to toxicity. Rather than seeking revenge or reacting in anger, focus on cultivating self-awareness, resilience, and inner calm. When you rise above negativity, you do not simply survive, you thrive. Your peace becomes unshakable, your heart resilient, and your life a testament to emotional mastery. Difficult people, challenging situations, and toxic energy then become opportunities to practice patience, clarity, and the art of remaining centered, no matter what surrounds you. Always remember this: you don't control how people behave, but you do control who you become. Don't let toxic people turn you into someone you are not. Protect your peace, respect your energy, and choose growth over drama, because the greatest success in life is not winning arguments. It is keeping your heart clean in a messy world. Thank you, stay peaceful, stay wise,